Welcome to a lesson about how to respond to texts by thinking about categories. We know that many of you enjoy reading, but sometimes find it difficult to explain why writing is effective. That's why we've designed this lesson, and we're going to look at William Golding's The Lord of the Flies. It doesn't matter if you haven't read this novel. All you need to know is that at the beginning of the book, a group of children find themselves stranded on an exotic and uninhabited island. Now here's our example. Whilst they're exploring the rocky coastline, they find a lagoon, a pool of water sheltered from the sea by a coral reef. Inside the lagoon, there was a long, deep pool in the beach, with a high ledge of pink granite at the further end. This is the sort of descriptive passage that students often get asked to explore. The question might be, how does Golding use language to make the island sound beautiful and impressive? But where would you start? Webster and I often read responses from students like, "The writer makes it really descriptive," or "When the writer says long deep pool, you can really picture it in your head." First, I'm going to show you why this type of answer is limited. Then I'll show you a better way to respond. Now, if I say tree, Webster will probably imagine a tree. You'd probably agree that for most people that's not very hard. It involves quite a bit of low-skill thinking. Let me show you. This is Bloom's taxonomy. Don't worry about the complicated name, it's really just a map of different types of thinking we can do. At the bottom we have relatively simple thinking skills, such as remembering and understanding. And towards the top, we have more complex thinking skills, such as evaluating and analysing. In this example, where I say tree and Webster thinks of a tree, he is mostly understanding what the word means and remembering what a tree looks like. And it's actually quite similar in this example. You can really picture it in your head is mostly just a metaphorical way of saying that you understand the literal meaning of the language. So how can we get a more powerful analysis of this description? One way we recommend is by making categories. Notice how categorizing is a higher level skill. It falls under analysing. So let's find some words that can go in a category. How about long, deep, and high? When you put these words together on their own, you can see that they describe things we could measure with a ruler. Physical dimensions, you might say. That's a category, because they have something in common. By noticing that the words have something in common, we make a category. All we need to do to complete the skill is to give the category a name or title. In fact, that needs us to use our creative skills, because we need to invent the title. So we'll give our category a name. Let's call it physical size or scale. We could therefore write that one of the most impressive things about the island is the sheer scale of the things the boys find there. And we could then add some evidence. A long, deep pool and a high ledge. Because we've used our skills in categorizing, rather than just understanding, we have developed a more impressive answer. So remember, don't just write that you can imagine it in your head. See what categories you can find. And notice how the quality of your thinking goes up, along with your grades. Subscribe to the Morton and Webster channels for regular English tips and advice.